time again. It's earlier though than that time again. Holy cow, it's 8:30 on a Sunday. Tim, what are we doing?
I'm enjoying a delightful cup of coffee.
I'm out of water, so I'm going into the show dry.
I've got my water here too. I'm well hydrated. I'm well awake, and I'm well informed. I've got my lists. I've got my caffeine. I'm ready to go.
I have none of that, so this show is going to be an absolute mess from this side. But well, we'll see how it goes. We're going to try some new stuff here today.
Love it.
I think in terms of media, and normally we would start with there's like this big story going on, but I'm starting with me because the heck with it. I saw the IUP women's basketball team made the Elite Eight, and I thought, man, that was really cool. You know, they've been there before, but then they made the Final Four, and they've never been there before, and like that was a huge step for the program. And then I saw the ladies knocked off the third seeded team from Colorado Mesa, and they made the finals, and I got pumped. And I mean, like, dust off the old IUP hat.
Yeah.
Pumped. There we go. I don't do hats very often, but yeah, there we go. And I did some research on the team they're playing, Grand Valley State, and I got like, oh, man, because this team is a really good team. Overall #1 seed, so obviously they're good. But this team was the reigning, defending, undisputed, returning national champions. They had one loss on the record. They're 35-1. And the one loss was a 1-point loss on the road that they avenged in the playoffs, 90-70. Hang on for a second. I'm going to check my audio. This is – I feel like – let me know when you got me, man.
I can hear you faintly now.
I feel like the coach from Necessary Roughness. This thing's not working for me. Anyway, Grand Valley State comes in, and when I scout a team, Tim, what do I look at in women's basketball?
Turnovers.
No, as far as the team goes,
height, and where they're from.
And there it was. They have 19 girls on the roster. 2 of them are shorter than I was in high school, and they're equal to me now. Like, I've lost an inch, I guess, gravity and age. So they have a pair of girls at 6'3", a 6'2" kid, 4 other girls at 6 feet or over. And even the head coach for IUP, Craig Carey, said when he saw their size, he saw their size, he knew they were big, but it was when he saw their speed, that's when he knew that they were in trouble. 72-49 your final. The Lakers open on an 8-0 run, didn't look back. They hit an amazing 62% from the floor, and they held IUP to 31%. It was everything you would have imagined worst case scenario would be.
And it's funny because when you think about historically, like the Division I tournament, you think about upsets and Cinderellas. Cinderellas don't happen as much in Division II because you have like the established blue blood programs who keep going back to the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 and Final Four every year.
And Grand Valley State they're them in football too. They're a big name.
Oh yeah, they're outstanding in several sports. So for IUP to even crash the party is something, let alone to get to the final. And then when you face a team with that size, that speed, and shooting like 1985 Villanova, what are you going to do? That's not a buzzsaw. That's 3 buzzsaws.
Check this out. That's my Knight Rider alarm to take my medicine. I took it already though. That's
on the ball. This is the age we're at. We have to set nostalgic timers to take our blood pressure medication.
There it is. But so it wasn't even just the field goal percentage in this one. I got to listen to it on the radio, or like the radio broadcast, and it seemed every 5 seconds the announcer was saying another block shot, another block shot. Grand Valley had 13 block shots. They have the conference defensive player of the year, Mackenzie Bisbell, 5 blocks. And I looked, she was one of the girls who was 6'2". The Lakers out-rebounded IUP 35-28. Now listen, of those 28 rebounds, 17 of them were offensive. So I don't know if they had like an Angel Reese situation going on where they had a couple missed shots and they got their own rebound. That means IUP had 11 defensive rebounds in a title game. That's crazy.
And when you talk about blocking that many shots, the thing that you don't see in the stat sheet is the way it affects another team. You know, if they get into the lane and suddenly they're thinking twice about, do I want to put this up? Do you kick out for a worse shot? You know, just the hesitation it gives someone when they're driving the lane. And you just wonder, even the shots that weren't blocked or weren't contested, how many times they were just forced to shoot from 20 feet instead of 2 feet.
Exactly. So IUP looks to next year. They have 4 seniors on the team. Nyshay Weaver, the team's leading scorer, Allie Hardwell, Marin Miller, Ellie Wilkerson. Those 4 account for just about half of the points scored. Teresa Maggio had herself a game, 20 points in the title game. She's a junior, but she's bounced around. She's been at Tarleton State, Mount Vernon, and IUP. I hope she sticks around. I hope, IUP grows on her and we see her for her senior year, because otherwise, who knows what they have coming back next year.
I mean, making a run to the title game's got to help. That's better than any campus visit. Yeah.
So this little run here that they went on, it got me like a little bit nostalgic for the old days. As many of you may know, both Tim and I were members of the media back in the late 90s at our respective colleges. And in 1999, the IUP women's team, they made their first run to the Elite Eight. And it was fun to cover that team because I knew a lot of them. I met one of them in class, and I got to meet the rest of the team. So it was really cool for me to follow their progress. And I thought it would be interesting if I had ChatGPT run a 7-game series on a neutral court between the 99 team and the 26 team. And without going into too much detail on it, I posted the results on my friend's Facebook page. And at the end of the series, it went to game 7. I'm not convinced ChatGPT just says 7 games for everything.
Right.
Like if you took the 96 Hazelton area Cougars and matched them in a 7-game series against the 96 Bulls, I think Scarcella and the boys send Jordan to 7.
All right, but in the matchup of the IUPs, I think everyone wants to know, how many points did Kawhi Leonard have in Game 7?
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard was in the stands for this one. This one
you mean he didn't sneak into the lineup in a Joanna Mann situation?
No, and it was kind of cool for me and the older people. The 99 team won the AI bracket 70-66. So I've officially gone overboard with AI in terms of my simulations. We're going to do another one later today, which will hopefully be cool. We'll see.
Somewhere a town doesn't have potable drinking water because of you.
Well, that's what can you do? I'm actually gonna, but believe it or not, we got one more story before we get to the big tournament here. I don't know if you saw this, but Gino Auriemma he's not very happy at the NCAA. Big commentary before the Elite Eight game against Notre Dame. I'm going to try to share my screen so you can actually hear the sound. So
okay,
hang with me. We're going to go to Gino Auriemma right here.
You know what time our shoot around was yesterday? 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:20, I think, for half an hour. Now this morning, I just saw Notre Dame leaving. So they have media this morning. Their practice time is tonight at 5:30. What did you have to ask them this morning that you didn't ask them last night? Or us? You know what time our practice time is? 6:30 tonight. So we had to get our kids up, come over here. You already knew who we were playing last night. But we can't get on the court. And neither can the other teams. Walls have media at 7:30, I think. Does anybody who makes these decisions ever ask the coaches and the players, hey, does this work? Do you guys do this during the regular season? Is this normal?
There it is. Is this normal? And I'll tell you what, this isn't the first time that the NCAA has been called out for how they've treated some of the ladies during their big dance. It was back in 2001. I don't know if you remember seeing this. Sedona Prince was a center at Oregon. She made a whole bunch of viral TikTok videos about the disparities of the facilities that the men had versus the women, specifically the weight room and the training areas. And the NCAA said it was a space issue, but on video she debunked that. And the best that the NCAA could do was, I guess, just apologize. And here's another situation where, if Gino's out here complaining, a lot of people online have agreed with him. They're like, yeah, he's not just being angry coach. He's got a point.
And, of any women's program in any sport in the country, if UConn basketball is getting the short end of the logistical stick, like how bad is it, at lower levels or at programs with less success? Like if Gino Ariema is feeling the pinch, what are other women's athletic programs going through? Because even with Title IX allowances, I think we can all acknowledge that there are clear disparities in how men's sports and women's sports are treated.
And the first thing they'll tell you is, well, more people watch men's sports and more people go to women's sports. The first part of this soundbite, from what I remember, is he was lamenting, I don't know if it was his team or another game that he watched. The shooting percentage from 3-point range was just abysmal. It was brick after brick. And he's like, how are we trying to grow the game playing like this? There's a point to be made about attendance and ratings and things like that, but that doesn't stop the NCAA from it's the media availability. If their morning practice is at 6:30 a.m. ahead of a 9 p.m. game, like what are we doing here? Like,
and especially when you get to this point in the tournament where you're dealing with fewer teams having
16 teams.
Yeah, this isn't 64 teams having to deal with finite resources. We're down to the nitty gritty here.
It's a 30-minute shoot around. It's not like these teams have a full-on 2.5-hour practice that you have to space out, the practices before the games start. No, it's a 30-minute to do nothing.
It's essentially a walkthrough.
So I don't know. All I know is if Gino's talking about it, it's a big deal. I think we got to get Gino on TikTok, or at the very least get him on Soup and Meatballs to sound off.
Do you think? Well, and let's contact his people first of all.
Yeah, that's the first thing. We'll wait till after the tournament, after they dispatch Notre Dame, they're 27-point favorites. But and you know what? I didn't know this, but UConn and Notre Dame have a deep history in women's basketball. This is like the 40th meeting or something, and
they're both power programs, sure.
And with I don't know if Notre Dame played a Big East schedule before, but there it is. We are officially 13 minutes into the show before we talk about the men's big dance. And I'll tell you what, Michigan playing Tennessee was not an Elite Eight matchup I saw coming. Iowa State must have just I only saw the final score, but they must have, their offense must have gone really dry, because we have an SEC Big Ten matchup here for a trip to the Final Four.
Yeah, in a tournament where the SEC hasn't really advanced many teams. Florida's the only number one that got bounced early. So yeah, who had Tennessee in their bracket, making it possibly to the Final Four out of this region?
Nina Koussis did.
Who?
Nina Koussis is the daughter of my good friend John. She is going to Tennessee in the fall. She is going to be a volunteer. She's a high school kid.
Well, Rocky Top Nina, congratulations on your college career. And if you do have Tennessee on your bracket, Nina, congratulations on that as well.
I guess.
But let's hope the road ends here, because go blue.
Yeah, exactly. So let's check out the bracket here. I didn't foresee this coming at all, but guess who's number one in the Chris Palermo bracket?
Is it Is it someone with a distinctly meatball flavor?
Yeah, right here. Number one. And guess who's number one in their school's little bracket thing? Right here. Oh man, last night had. Now I have all most of my Elite Eight. I think. I did pick Arizona to beat Purdue, but a bunch of people at school have Arizona winning it all. So I think a Purdue win would have actually helped me.
Yeah.
But I had Michigan over Iowa State. So if you look at Tennessee, 25-11, the matchup predictor says 68% Michigan. So this one kind of worries me. Michigan didn't look all that great against Alabama early. They kind of turned it on.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they've done the whole tournament so far, because that was the story with Howard in the first round. They were getting a bit of a game from St. Louis in the second round before they put on the afterburners. That's the story for this Michigan team, though. They have too much talent, too much depth.
They're too deep.
And they just go on those 16-3 runs where they put their foot on your neck, For my bracket, I'll say I had a really good first two rounds where I think I had 12 or 13 of the Sweet 16.
16's been terrible.
And then, I had Houston in the final. I had Arkansas in the Final Four. So,
well, I mean, a lot. It's educated guessing as we go through.
And for some people, just guessing.
So Roseanne sent me this link of, I don't know if it was a little kid and their dad looking at mascots or whatever, and like the little kid who obviously knows nothing about sports in general was picking, and she said, you should do this with Maria. And I said, well, maybe next year. And I thought to myself, I can do this with her now. She doesn't know who won anything. That seems like an awful lot of work, though, to put Maria through to try to pick. I wonder who her final would be. I'll do that this week. I'll make like a little bracket. I'll just have her guess. I will not tell her seeds or anything, just to see where she goes with it.
I remember when I was at the paper, we had a contest for the tournament called the Bracketeers, where we would get entries from around the circulation area, and at the end of each two rounds, we would see who was leading, and we would call them to just do a little story that we ran with the results. And the one year, I think it was after two rounds, the leader was a 9-year-old kid who had Drake as his champion.
Ooh, yeah, I don't like that.
And I remember when I was talking to this little kid, and I was like, why'd you pick Drake as your champion? And it was purely because of that Josh and Drake TV show on the Disney Channel.
You know what? Good for that kid. He was leading after two rounds.
Right? He was smarter than 600 adults.
Well, I mean...
And if you get nothing else from this story, that me doing well in two rounds, I'm no smarter than a 9-year-old kid.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Well, I'll tell you what. If we look at right now, we're down to 6 teams. Michigan tonight, and the other game is Duke and UConn. And the UConn-Michigan State game, I picked UConn to lose to Michigan in the finals. So seeing Michigan State in the Sweet 16 was unnerving because it's Michigan State and it's Tom Izzo. But if you look at Michigan State's last 7 games, I think the 4 wins that they had, they're 4-3, but the wins they had were the North Dakota State and the Louisvilles, that they came into the tournament kind of iffy, and when they got to a round where they played a team with commensurate talent,
they started terribly against UConn. It took so much energy for Michigan State to even get back in that game by the half. They couldn't get a shot to fall. They were turning it over. I mean, they were down double digits 5 minutes into the game. They're lucky they didn't get run off the floor.
UConn and Duke today, they're the 5:05 game. And if you look at
Michigan,
You know,
Tennessee's like a 2:00 start.
what they say, they have Duke 72%. They're at full health now. The kid that was injured came back and played a big part in the St. John's win. I mean, in a lot of brackets that we're in, a lot of people have Duke winning, so St. John's beating Duke would not have been a bad thing for my bracket. But I think whenever Duke's in an Elite Eight, a Final Four, it's good for college basketball because they're like the Yankees. You either love them or you hate them for the most part.
And, it's funny because so much of the season we've been talking about the talented freshmen around the country. And yet, BYU early exit, Kansas relatively early exit. It's really just the boozers at Duke when we're talking about, freshman talent who've been able to make any kind of dent on this tournament.
Okay, yeah, there was a freshman at Illinois, I think. Let me see if I can get the Illinois roster up. Illinois, another pleasant Big Ten surprise.
Yeah.
Let me get their roster here. Freshman, was it? I don't know if it was Fabemi here or Wagler. It's definitely not this guy. Might have been Keaton Wagler, who he's averaging 18 points. Gosh, I hate when you put the audio. Keaton Wagler from Illinois having a pretty good tournament as well, but they're going to get either UConn or Duke, and I think that's where their Final Four comes to an end. Michigan, Arizona. A lot of people say Michigan, Arizona is the national championship game. So just like the WBC, just like the 2003 ALCS, does that favor the other side of the bracket next week?
Well, you look at the bracket that Duke's coming out of.
It was a
buzzsaw, and even having to get past UConn is going to really challenge Duke, I think.
So you go through St. John's, then UConn. Illinois is almost like a okay game.
Yeah, because I mean,
that's
leading
the first
into that
time in the Final Four since 2003, I think they said.
Since 2005, that the Luther had Darren Williams team that lost to Carolina. Yeah, and Duke. A lot of people going into that St. John's game were saying that St. John's was, if they were going to win, was going to have to turn it into a rock fight, and they really tried to. That it was a good win for Duke, but it wasn't easy. It was a slugfest.
St. John's had a double-digit lead in the second half.
Yeah.
So there we are, down to 6. So Final Four in a couple hours, and it's a good time for basketball overall. High school wrapped up, college wrapping up, and now we're getting to the point now we're in the NBA. The NBA, the playoff teams are set. It's just really seeding at this point. If you look at the East, you have a bunch of 4 games between the top 3 seeds. Out West, I mean, after OKC and San Antonio, you got the Lakers, Nuggets, Rockets, and Timberwolves. They're all within 3 games of each other. And right now the Lakers are hot, but they got some bad news with Luka. I guess he got his 16th technical foul. He's going to miss a game against Washington tomorrow. Ooh, that's not a big deal, but
if you're going to miss against anyone,
well, it's better Washington because after that they've got Cleveland coming in. They're not a gimme, but they should be. But then the Lakers go to Oklahoma City, and that's a big game for both teams because they only have a 2-game lead over San Antonio. They both need to win. So what this technical foul does for Luka is it resets his clock. He's allowed 1 free technical. It's every 2 games now, or every 2 technicals you start to get suspensions, and it resets going into the playoffs. So I mean, there's that going on. But the Lakers are turning into that team now that nobody wants to see in the playoffs because they're starting to play. They've been playing like this for 2 weeks now, really well.
I've got to tell you though, I got a chance to watch San Antonio again a little bit yesterday, and they are really they're like 24-2 since February. San Antonio is really starting to feel like, and I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here, but you remember the feeling around the 91 Bulls when they hadn't won a title yet, but you were like, you see that Jordan's putting it together, and then they get to the playoffs, they sweep Detroit in the Eastern Conference Finals. They beat the Magic Johnson Lakers in 5 games. It is starting to feel, as you watch this San Antonio team, the way they play on both ends of the floor, and the way that Wembanyama is just putting this together at computer speed, that this team is not only going to be a problem in this year's playoffs, but that this could be the team that dominates postseason conversations for the next 5 to 8 years.
I don't disagree. The only thing that this San Antonio team has that I don't know if the first run Bulls had at the same level was in Oklahoma City next to them. Because Oklahoma City is still really good. They've got 155 draft picks over the next 3 years. The only question becomes is whether they keep the team intact financially.
Right, but, you know, and that's
They're
the
just
thing
as
about
young as San Antonio.
That's the thing about those Bulls teams is you had the Knicks, you had a young Orlando team, you had the Pacers.
Orlando, I think, was the second three-peat. That was
Right.
they were like 7 years down the line. I'm talking like the first round. The Bulls had Detroit was on the way down. Boston was on the way down. New York was.
That's right around the time they hired Riley. Riley came to New York in '92, I believe.
Yeah. The threat for the Bulls out west, Magic was gone. It was Portland for a year, and then when Barkley went to Phoenix, I don't think the West was as strong as it was now, obviously.
You had some really good teams in the West. Like Seattle was habitually a 60-win team. You had the Jazz, you had the Rockets, you had the Spurs, who didn't break through until Duncan got there, but the Spurs were very good. You know, that the reason we don't think of those teams as great teams is because Jordan just
You're
kept
absolutely
destroying
right.
them.
You're absolutely right. I just look at I think the rivalry that's budding or that has budded between OKC and San Antonio, that'll be fun to watch. Like you said, the next 6 to 8 years.
If that is the Western Conference Final this year, that has the potential to be the most entertaining playoff series of the decade so far, of the 2020s.
Well, that's what we'll see, because LA and Houston are going to have something to say about it out west. In the East, where our guys play, I mean, the Knicks were on a 7-game winning streak, and then of course they travel to Charlotte and they lose by 11. The Knicks, one of the 2 people that beat the Spurs over that run, by the way.
Yeah.
They're at Oklahoma City tonight.
Beat the Spurs.
Yeah. Well, they're at Oklahoma City tonight. They're at Houston on Tuesday. They got a tough stretch here before their season comes to an end in 2 weeks. They're a game and a half back of Boston. Those teams are going to meet April 9th at the Garden. We're going to see where things are by then. I still think the East is pretty much – it's not locked in. Detroit, Boston, New York. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was Detroit, Boston, New York.
I feel like those top 4 seeds in the East are pretty much locked in. I just don't think Boston can catch Detroit. They've handled the loss of Cade Cunningham really well. Between the Celtics and the Knicks, the Knicks own the tiebreaker. But I just think with the way the Celtics are playing and, the Celtics having a game and a half lead with, 10 left, 9 left. I just think the Celtics can keep the Knicks at bay.
This game on the Celtics schedule, I think they go to Miami, and that could be tough, but it's at New York. The rest of them are just decidedly winnable.
That's the other thing, to go back to the West for a second. The Spurs close out with a much easier stretch of games than the Thunder do. The Thunder have several tests to close out the season. The Spurs much less.
They go to Denver, and they have a back to a pair of games with Denver, which is going to be big for Denver,
right? Because they're trying to get into that top 4 to have home court for as long as they can. And Denver is the highest scoring team in the league, or right up there with Jokic and Jamal. Jamal Murray dropped a 50-piece the other night.
Denver they lead the West, Yeah, they're the number one team in the league, 121.
Yeah, so I mean, Denver's tough. Got to play them, and they're extra motivated, like we'd said. And I mean, the way San Antonio is playing, they were in Milwaukee yesterday. Before the game was even 2 minutes old, it felt like San Antonio was up 12
Game was
points,
over.
and it was a 25-point game for most of the second half. Wembanyama didn't even have to play the fourth. He played a couple minutes in the fourth, but people look at, he's only averaging 24 points a game. The Spurs a lot of times are in cruise control in the fourth quarter of these games.
There you go, which brings up the question. We're about that time where we can start asking this intelligently. The MVP race in the NBA it's not a two-man race. I mean, Luka wants to join in, but if you look at the odds, Luka's a plus 1,500. Wemby's at plus 210. SGA's at minus 275. So SGA's still the odds-on favorite. But does Wemby have a chance to catch him, and will Luka make any kind of noise in that?
I think the way it's trending, SGA is just going to repeat as MVP. I think Wembanyama is probably going to be the runner-up this year. And then I think you would have to say Jokic will be third just because, top 10 in scoring and then leading the league in assists and rebounding.
Yeah, they have Jokic at plus 6,000. He's number 4.
Yeah, like if I had a vote,
It sounds like you're a Wemby guy.
I am a Wemby guy because he's the best defensive player. He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
In terms of team value, I'm really surprised that Jaylen Brown wasn't higher on this DraftKings thing. He's plus 15,000. Now he's not going to win the MVP, but without Jaylen Brown's play, coming into this year without Jason Tatum, we kind of might have thought that Boston was heading for a lottery pick, and the next year they were going to be really, really tough. Jaylen Brown said not so fast, and he carried the team to what amounts to be the 2 seed in the East.
It's not just that they didn't have Tatum, but Porzingis, he's in Golden State. They dealt Drew Holiday back to Portland. I mean, there was a lot of unknown. They didn't know what they had in Hugo Gonzalez or Neemias Queta or any of these guys. The only known quantities on the roster were Brown, Peyton Pritchard, and Hauser. They were, and Derek White. But otherwise, it was a bunch of who are the rest of these guys?
So
I think
give him some love too, but he's not going to beat Wemby or SGA.
I think what hurts Brown is that Tatum came back, and there's this perception of like, oh, he can recede back to being the Robin to Tatum's Batman. It's unfair to Brown because he was outstanding for so long this season, averaging almost 30 a game. But
so let's give him your third place MVP vote then here on Soup and Meatballs. Give Jaylen Brown some love.
My problem with SGA, and it's no new insight, but he deals with the accusation of being a foul merchant, and we see it a lot. You see the clips of him just driving in. He doesn't get touched, but he's just trying to make it look like he gets contact, and he's just throwing it at the rim, not even trying to shoot, just to get to the line. He's the kind of guy, if you played a pickup game against him, you and 9 other guys, you'd be like, all right, can we get this guy off the floor? Can we have a fun game? Can we agree? We're going to go to – we're not going to come back to Beach Street next time because we don't want to play with this guy. We're going to go to James Street.
If I was playing a pickup game against SGA, it would get pretty ugly fast. I think.
And
even in my prime.
And that's not to take anything away. He's talented. He's 30 points per game.
Much better than
the best
me.
Team in the league. But my God, it's not the kind of basketball I want to watch.
I gotcha. Well, the kind of basketball I want to watch starts in a couple hours for the Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4. But then in about 2 weeks when we find out who the first 4 are going to be playing, the 8 and 7 seeds, and the NBA actually turns into playoff basketball. The other kind of ball that I like watching just started. Oh, boy, it was a national holiday this past week. opening day in Major League Baseball. And we've talked about this before, I think, the Wednesday night game before opening day. I've been out. I've said this. If Major League Baseball wants to do this, it should have been in Los Angeles with the Dodgers. I think the Diamondbacks are in town, so it should have been Arizona at LA on Wednesday night. But instead, we get the Yankees and Giants. The Yankee fan in me is not going to complain about that. But the Yankees have opened up with back-to-back shutouts for the first time in team history. And that's not even the biggest news in baseball, I don't think. The biggest news, I think, comes from the other end of the city in what the Mets did to Paul Skeens.
I think it's more what Paul Skeens' defense did to Paul Skeens.
It was
O'Neal Cruz. You put a shortstop in center field, you reap what you sow.
Well, I don't know if Pittsburgh's in tank mode yet. They're trying to trade Paul Skeens yet, but 2/3 of an inning he lasted with an earned run average of 67.5. Yeah, that just happened, folks. I'm sure he'll be fine. But the first start is a little bit of a WBC hangover for him.
Well, but also you see that there were two balls, one where O'Neal Cruz takes 3 steps in when the ball's 40 feet over his head, and then another that he loses in the sun. Those go down as hits, but Skeens should be out of that inning. And I mean,
was it Max Clark, the guy from Detroit? They compared him to the guy with the big chains.
Yeah.
Hey, so it was very Max Clark-esque, but you're right. You put a shortstop out in the outfield. It's like the guy in Moneyball. Yeah, we can make you first baseman. First base is easy, right?
It's incredibly hard.
Incredibly hard. So is center field.
Yeah,
for an infielder. So,
and credit to Skeens because he didn't go back and sulk in the clubhouse. He stayed in the dugout with his teammates. I don't think anyone would have begrudged him if he was on the phone with his agent on the walk to the dugout. Because his team is just failing him in every way possible. They finally get him some runs. They hit a 2-run home run in the top of the first, only to give up 4 in the bottom of the first.
They dropped, was it 5-3? I guess their opener.
Free Paul Skeens.
Yes, it will send him to the American League East in New York. The other big time, at least I just looked at the standings and just blew my mind. Guess who's in first place in the National League East?
Is it the Marlins?
Break up the Miami Marlins. They've beaten the Rockies. Let's slow down. But they're 2-0, and it's kind of neat to see that. I love early season baseball for 2 reasons. 1, you get Miami in first place, and 2, you get Paul Skeens with a 67 ERA. You don't see this very often, and by the end of May, things will normalize, and it's kind of wild. But yeah, there we are.
Right. Yeah. Baseball's more than any other sport where you need a large sample size to really see trends and how things could go. Because we were texting last night and I'd said about Cal Raleigh being 0 for 7 with 7 strikeouts.
And I called it another WBC hangover. And that'll talk about the WBC hangover that the captain had. The U.S. captain, Aaron Judge, is hitting 154 after a year where he hit 330. He hit over 300, which in today's baseball is incredible. He has 13 at-bats. 7 at-bats have resulted in strikeouts, and 2 at-bats have resulted in hits. He has 2 hits for the year. Those 2 hits just both went over the left field fence in San Francisco.
Yeah. So, he had a slow start last year too, though.
He did.
Before he caught fire in May.
He had a crazy May. So I mean, if he can go, the Yankees are now 3-0. They gave up a run against. It was Warren gave up a run against San Francisco. I forget what the final was. 3-1 was their final in San Fran. They pull off a sweep. But if you can get a series win and 2 home runs out of Aaron Judge, that's you deal with the 7 strikeouts that go along with it.
Yeah, and a high number of strikeouts is just the cost of doing business with Aaron Judge. With all the good that you get from him, he's
not a Joe DiMaggio, that's for sure.
Absolutely. He's not even who's the IUP? Teresa Maggio. He's not even Teresa Maggio.
I think he could put up 20 against Grand Valley State. He's taller than any of those girls. They're not blocking him. He's lost all his IUP eligibility, though, unfortunately. Boston, on the other hand, you told me they had a tough loss against Cincinnati. Sonny Gray didn't look too great.
Yeah. They got a nice win in the opener where Crochet had a great game. Boston kept trying to claw back in it yesterday, but Cincinnati, kept them at bay. They end up tied after 9. They go to the 11th, and Cincinnati drives in a run on a single to center where Roman Anthony 8 hops a throw to the plate, trying to cut down the winning run.
Oops.
Not great. WBC hangover on his right arm, I guess.
He had a really good game 1. He took an 0 for in game 2, but hitting 444 for the year. So they must have had a great game 1.
Yeah, he was 3 for 4 with a walk in game 1, if I remember right.
There you go.
Yeah, and more importantly, had a very big ABS challenge because it was 1-0 in the top of the 9th. He challenged a ball that was at the bottom of the zone. Juan is challenged, gets the walk, and then that leads to 2 insurance runs for the Sox to go up 3-0, and then bring in Chapman to close it out. So
that's a good segue because I wanted to talk about this. The other big news: who is going to be the first and how is it going to work? Jose Caballero of the Yankees, the first to challenge, he failed. It was actually a strike. The data, I wondered, is there going to be data tracked on challenges and wins and losses? And it's baseball, so of course,
yeah.
On baseballsavant.com, there have been 124 challenges made. Do you know the percentage of overturns? Have you seen this?
It's got to be more than 2/3.
No, not quite. It's 54%.
Wow.
67 overturned, 57 confirmed.
I was thinking this early that teams would be very conservative so that
they are, I think.
But that's why I thought the percentage would be higher. That they would be like, all right, we're not sure, we're not going to challenge it. It would only be like almost gimmies that they were challenging to put the percentage in the 60s.
Gotcha. And it's overwhelmingly in favor of the catcher. The fielder, the catcher, has a 61% overturn rate. And I wondered when I was watching the Netflix game, first of all, let's sidestep to Netflix. Did you watch the game?
Yeah, I watched the later innings.
Do you have any complaints about the broadcast?
Yeah, they cut in late on a couple where they missed like a couple singles at the start of the innings.
That's the biggest one that I heard. The commercials ran long. To be fair to Netflix, I watched the first 5 innings. Like it was all on my phone, but with the broadcast, with the announcement, I thought the announcers were fine. I didn't have a booth. I didn't have a problem with it, and I turned it on mute then because I was watching Scrubs with Jen. Aside from them cutting in late, like they just didn't time their commercials well. I didn't think it was that bad, but a lot of people online are just giving them all kinds of grief. Like
I liked the booth. It was Vasgersian, and then was it CC?
Bonds came in for a spell,
yeah,
and Bonds dropped this big news shell that he was going to be a Yankee until George Steinbrenner gave him a deadline of 2:00 to sign the contract. And like, really? That's why Bonds wasn't there? He could have been the left fielder? Can you imagine?
That gets us down a whole rabbit hole of can you imagine what that does to the 90s Yankees, what it does to Bonds' legacy?
Yeah. But I mean, I digress. I didn't think the Netflix thing was that bad.
I didn't either.
But that's
they've ironed out the problems they had, with the Logan Paul Mike Tyson fight where it kept buffering every time.
Yeah, it didn't crash on me, which was good. So going, I forget where before I did the whole Netflix thing. Oh, challenges before the broadcast. They were going to talk about how much Aaron Judge was going to challenge because his strike zone historically he's been struck out on quite a few balls out of the zone. and he had one challenge yesterday that he was successful on, and the announcer said, again, historically, he gets bad calls, but after the game, Aaron Judge said, he's not going to be very aggressive. He likes using the challenge if there's a runner on base. He doesn't want to waste it. I don't know, man. If it's a ball, call it a ball.
I get where he's coming from, though. You know, where you want to pick your spots a little bit. Can you imagine if they had ABS when Ted Williams was around, where he always thought he was right on balls and strikes?
But here's the thing: he might have been.
Well, they say the man could read the label on a record as it was playing on a stereo. So,
you know what? I just found this. I've just found the button, so you can go from teams to players. How about this, Mr. Smarty Pants? Who has challenged the most?
What
was the most challenges?
What player?
Yeah. Do you have any idea?
This
is obviously a guess. You don't know.
Yeah. I mean, my first thought was someone like Juan Soto, who walks a lot.
Okay. That's fair. Don't think hitters, though, because they wouldn't have as many opportunities.
Oh, so thinking catchers.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I would just be throwing out names again.
Will Smith of the Dodgers.
Oh.
He's 2-3. He's won 2 and he's lost 3.
And that goes back to, I said 66% before, so
there you go.
I'm going to take the win on this one.
But who breaks that is the next. There's 3 catchers who have 4. Sal Perez in Kansas City is 4-0. I mean, if he does this, just overturn it.
Yeah.
Edgar Cuero of the White Sox is 3-1, and Patrick Bailey of the Giants 3-1. So those guys combined 10-2. There goes your 66%. I'm going to track this
once today.
We're going to track this throughout the year because I think this is wild. We said this week we were going to do our official predictions. Do you have them written down?
I don't.
Well.
We can still.
I kind of gave mine last week. If you want to wait or just, that's okay.
Yeah, I haven't really thought division by division, but I do like the Mets in the NL East.
I took the Mets too. I mean, they bring in Bo Bichette, even though they lose Alonso, they lose Diaz. They started out well, so.
I'm not sure who I like in the Central. Although, I mean, the Brewers were so good last year, it's hard not to look at Milwaukee.
I like Bregman coming to the Cubs.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he replaces Tucker well for them, and I think I picked Chicago.
Yeah, and I mean that offense was really potent last year. Dodgers in the West, Padres will be good.
The question I think is, and I wrote this down: will the Dodgers be disappointed, World Series notwithstanding, with fewer than 103 wins? Because that's what Pecota had for them before the year started. I think they had him at 103. With the Dodgers, with that lineup, they don't have a perceived weakness now that Diaz is the closer. Is 103 a disappointment for that team? Again, playoffs notwithstanding.
No, I think they're kind of at the level where like the Chiefs are in football, where like the regular season is just, you don't want to say going through the motions, but kind of going through the motions.
I think that team can go through the motions and win 110, though. I said that last year, though, too.
I agree. But if they win 98, I think they'll be fine. They'll be like, okay, now we'll put on our, now
let's put on the helmets and
game
go.
Faces. Yeah.
Well, speaking of putting on the helmets, we missed the NFL last week. I got the fine in the news, so we're going to give you some NFL stuff today. I sent you the text about this, but this is where it came from. Adam Schefter was on the Pat McAfee show, and he was talking about Myles Garrett's contract and how they were like moving his bonuses around. And it wasn't about being traded, but about cap flexibility. Do you believe Cleveland is looking for cap flexibility, or are they trying to trade Myles Garrett?
I really don't think they are. If they didn't last year, I think he's staying in Cleveland.
feel bad for him because, oh my gosh, man.
Yeah, he's in, you know.
He's in worse shape than Paul Skeens is in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, because he's been there longer, and he's probably going to be there for the duration.
I remember thinking, people were talking about when Cleveland was spearheading the charge to allow teams to trade first-round picks 5 years out. I guess you're only allowed to trade 3 years out. And people were wondering, are they going to try to bring in a quarterback? Or are they going to try to make these big flashy trades? But now, like, this came out, the hypothesis was, are they trying to get other teams' first-round draft picks from 5 years out? Because when I sent you that picture, would you trade Myles Garrett for A.J. Brown and your first this year and next year? You said, like, in a heartbeat. And yeah. I think if you look at what Philadelphia, I don't know where Philadelphia is drafting, but it's obviously probably the 20s or the high 20s. And if they get Myles Garrett next year, they'll be drafting in the high 20s again. Those two picks are not worth Myles Garrett, even if you throw A.J. Brown in there. So I'd make that trade in a heartbeat too.
Yeah, and I feel like A.J., you know, they're going to be dealing him anyway. What higher yield, you know, what higher return on investment are you getting?
Imagine defensive line with Myles Garrett and Jalen Carter. Holy cow!
Yeah.
So, I don't know about that. The other kind of weird big story I saw in the NFL last Saturday, there was this flag football event. Did you see this?
Yeah, I saw some clips. I saw it's like pro wrestling where like Tom Brady and he's throwing a ball at Logan Paul and.
Well, Tom Brady actually said he explored the possibility of coming out of retirement, but the NFL didn't like that idea because of his ownership stake, and that makes sense. But can you imagine this? Last year, Denver's in the conference final. Bo Nix got hurt the week before, and Denver calls up Tom Brady and says, hey, do you want to give it a go? What are the odds Tom Brady for Denver is able to knock off New England and get to a Super Bowl? Think about that.
Think about calling the owner of a division rival.
Partial owner. He gets 5%. He's not even an owner. He threw a couple bucks in.
Still, he's affiliated.
It's a first show ownership. He's an NFL commentator on Fox.
He's got a key to the building.
He has a fob. He has an ID card.
Yeah, he knows Hank down in security.
But that would be. I'm just thinking from a standpoint of Tom Brady's legacy. Can you imagine him coming to Denver and getting Denver to a Super Bowl with no training camp, no regular season, just shows up and slings a couple and they win a game with that defense?
It would be the football equivalent of like Roger Clemens in the mid-2000s.
Kinda, except Clemens came in the All-Star after the All-Star game, and Susan Waldman was like, "He's back."
Yeah, they made it sound like the Undertaker just rose from under the canvas.
Susan Waldman went full Paul Bearer. Yeah, that's embarrassing. Oh my goodness. One more NFL story for you, Tim. The 2026 NFL Draft going to be held in Pittsburgh in a couple weeks, April 23rd. So all kinds of talk on TV about Ty Simpson. You see this? Dan Orlovsky said that he's the best quarterback in the class.
Yeah,
and right now the upside with that, maybe some of his pro days, I've seen him as high as going third to the Arizona Cardinals in the mock drafts. I don't know about the best quarterback in that class. I mean, Orlovsky's quote, I wrote it down. No one had to carry their football team more than Simpson. I don't know if that you're talking Alabama versus Indiana, like the football power that Indiana is in terms of carrying their team. Give me a break.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd say that Ty Simpson carried them. They didn't have Alabama had no running game this year. I mean, they were like 120th.
He looked pretty good.
What's that?
I think he looked above average. I don't think he looked great.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if Dan Orlovsky necessarily is like this, but I feel like around this time, people try to have their draft hot takes. So in 5 years, it can be like Orlovsky saw it, like And if you're wrong, it's usually mostly forgotten, unless you're Mel Kiper, you know.
That video, I think the fight that they had,
Yeah, more than anything. More people remember the fight with Bill Polian than they even remember what draft picks they were talking about.
NFL draft, we have to do our Soup and Meatballs mock draft. So
I think Simpson, from everything I've read and I've seen, it just seems like a natural fit that he might fall to the Jets at 16.
At 16, okay. I know a couple of weeks ago it was a no-brainer that he was going to go to Pittsburgh at 21. So it usually happens. You get the quarterback it's a quarterback-driven league, so they move their way up.
And it's not only a quarterback-driven league, but it's a quarterback-poor draft.
Absolutely.
Where they're these guys are the only two who are, you know, him and Mendez are the only two who are going in the first round this year.
So, a couple of weeks we'll do our Soup and Meatballs mock draft. But yeah, now you're gonna hear it, kinda.
This is quickly becoming the segment I may most be looking forward to each week.
So as many of you know, I spend many a minute scrolling through the talk of ticks, right? And there's a creator that I found. Her name is Haley on the Internet. Haley on the Internet is rewatching all of the old WrestleManias. And I get it. She's about 32 years old, and she's probably sort of new to watching older pro wrestling. So a lot of her commentary is coming from someone who didn't watch these storylines unfold week to week. Well, her WrestleMania 4 video just irritated me beyond belief. Her whole shtick on TikTok is to watch WrestleMania and to comment on them. And she comes out and says, I can't remember anything, and I just watched it last night. Like, that's insane. Get on Wikipedia and look it up. Refresh your memory if you don't remember it.
Like,
on the Internet.
She didn't know who, like, some of the people were, because some of them are obscure if you didn't go through.
No. She's watched WrestleMania 1, 2, and 3, and like I said, she's not watching the day-to-day stuff. But she didn't remember the event. She watched it last night, and then she couldn't comment on it because I don't remember much. Get on Wikipedia and look it up. You want to be a creator? Do your research.
Yeah.
She said her favorite match was Greg the Hammer Valentine against Ricky Steamboat. Honestly, that's the last match I remember from that card. And that was my favorite WrestleMania.
Boy, Steamboat, guys of that era, was very underrated.
Well, he was a year off of the match of the millennium with Savage, yeah. and people were beyond this. Haley, you just made the list. Yeah. So now
I wonder if we can get her on the show, her and Gino Ariema, and we'll have a round
at the same time. Sure. No, people were commenting because it was 38 years ago Friday that Randy Savage walked through 4 straight opponents to win his first WWF title. And people were wondering why we didn't get a Steamboat Savage rematch in round 2. If you watch the way the brackets broke down, you had babyface versus heel throughout. I don't think they were ready to do a babyface versus babyface matchup because Savage was a good guy by WrestleMania 4. He was a heel in WrestleMania 3.
Right.
But somebody said, like, well, he had 4 matches and blah, 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 blah. Like, dude, his match with Butch Reed was 4 minutes. His match with the one-man gang, the gang wasn't going to do anything like, that was really going to push Savage's cardio. Like, DiBiase was able to. Steamboat would have been able to. But I think they really took it easy on Savage in the first round. 4-minute match is nothing back then.
Yeah, and you're right. Between like Butch Reed and who did you say, One Man Gang?
One Man Gang was third. Savage went through Reed, Valentine, the Gang, and DiBiase.
Yeah, and Valentine too. They're all kind of like grappler types. They're not.
Valentine's a bruiser who could have gone 20 minutes with him. I mean, he had a lot of long matches. I'm sure. I don't know a lot about Butch Reed back in the day, but I'm sure he probably could have gone more than 4.
I'm sure.
But the whole event was long because of the tournament.
Yeah, I was going to say they were probably under time constraints with some of the earlier round matches where they were like, all right, look, we're not looking for 60 minutes here.
It was a 2 VHS tape set back in the day.
It was like watching Gone with the Wind,
So, but
a decade spanning saga.
Haley is a self-admitted Jey Uso fan, and that's fine. Everybody can like who they like, but just don't go back through history and then say, "Well, I don't remember it," and it's not good, because that's how you get yourself on the list.
Haley, you're on the list. I have to write your name down and put you in the glove compartment.
There it is. Oh boy. Okay, quick hitter time. Are you ready?
I am always ready for a quick hitter.
There's some rough stuff here, starting with number one. You might have seen this. This is up in your neighborhood. Penn College cancels the remainder of their baseball season. Something happened at a spring break tournament in Myrtle Beach that cost Chris Howard the head coach's job.
The whole thing.
A couple of the students have been dismissed from the team, but some of them have been allowed to stay. And they tell these kids, well, you can train here, but there's nobody here to coach you.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about what's happened. I'd only heard that the program just shut it down for the year.
If it's on spring break, it's one of two things. It's either hazing or it's the essay stuff that is not good news.
Yeah. Either way, like it said, it's bad. Something's gonna come to light, and you just hope that it's handled appropriately.
There it is. Number two, we've talked about this. You've talked about this at length, but now we have superintendents getting involved. The superintendent of Old Forge, Chris Gatto, wrote a letter to the PIAA that got reposted on the Twitters, and part of the letter was that PIAA President Frank Makis admonished students from Old Forge who were holding posters up that said Old Forge Blue Devils public school champions. And Makis said, this is not what we're about. And he's yelling at these kids. And in this letter, Chris Gatto goes on to support the passing of House Bill 41, which is the non-boundary thing that we'll see. June 9th, they have a 1 p.m. forum at the Rotunda in Harrisburg. Tim, what do you think the chances are that we see some kind of movement on this bill?
Very slim. Yeah, I just don't think that the PIAA is moved to action, despite overwhelming public sentiment. I think that even though we've seen similar moves in other states that are comparable to Pennsylvania,
I guess Ohio or something like that.
Yeah. Legislatively, it doesn't seem like, because this comes up every few years, and it never seems to have any kind of actual traction.
I understand. So
also, how much more of a villain do you want to be to criticize students for criticizing the PIAA?
That's bad. And if the signs had vulgarity or hate
right,
speech,
this is just expressing a valid opinion. This is the PIAA saying, I'm not content to be a villain. I want to be promoted into supervillainy.
Well, number three, when I was looking up that story that was reposted, I went down another rabbit hole on the Twitters. Apparently, there was a news thing on the right that said the Yankees had reached out to Pittsburgh last season to start trade talks for Paul Skeens, and that just – is there anything more mind-boggling on the internet than watching fans of two different teams talking about potential trades that are never going to happen anyway?
Oh.
Have you ever done this? Have you ever seen these things?
The internet's a vast and horrible place.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sure there are much more worse debates happening than this.
It is, in fact, a vast and awful place. There we go. Number four. On Friday, I got an email from Spotify saying that the new Foo Fighters album is coming on April 24th. I didn't know the Foo Fighters were still Foo Fighting, and I didn't know they had a new album coming out. So, Tim, do you like the Foo Fighters?
I do like the Foo Fighters. I know Dave
April 24th.
He's taken his lumps, had some extramarital shenanigans in the past few years, but musically, I like the band, and Dave Grohl, when he pops up in interviews, he's always, pretty funny. They're good live too. I haven't had the chance to see them live, but my one friend was trying to get me to go see him in concert, and I would absolutely do that in a heartbeat.
I have a lot of Foo Fighters stuff on my phone, so April 24th, check it out. Next one. This is a first. I've never sent you. A lot of these quick hitters are just, you don't know their comment, so it's your opinion right off the top. I sent you this video so that you can digest it, but for the viewers here, I want you to watch this. This is kickball, courtesy of Play Mars Sports, and that's exactly what you think it is. We're going to do it in slow motion for you. Look at this. Unbelievable.
Embarrassing. A kickball bunt.
That is exactly what you called it, a bunt. Now, Play Mars has this thing called 2026 Turf Wars Kickball. They call themselves recreational sports. The website says Turf War stands as the #1 adult kickball tournament brand in the country, the most trusted name in the sport. However, two things.
What's the #2 most trusted?
Well, two things. If you Google Turf Wars Kickball and you try to click on their website, you get like a link that says, this is a dangerous website. Don't go there. So what I just read was like the bottom part that you see on Google itself. I would not go to their website. But #2, where have we come as a society if we're bunting in kickball?
Yeah.
With nobody on base. If you watch the video, there's nobody on base. It's not even like you're trying to advance a runner or, I mean, if you're trying to break up a no-hitter in the 8th inning, I'm okay with that.
The only thing worse, I think, is if he was trying to break up a no-hitter in a kickball game.
Unless Kurt Schilling is up 2-0 for the Diamondbacks, in which case, a bunt single and a home run ties the game. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, fair.
A 7-0 perfect game, no, swing the bat. But kickball, oh my gosh.
And we're authorities on kickball. We were the Greeby 7th grade gym class kickball champions.
If I can, you know what? If I knew that was, I should have known that was going to come up. I could have gone to Jessica Uhas's Facebook page because she has the picture posted where my head is sticking out of Keith Matalevich's neck.
And I have a glorious mullet.
Oh, you're so mad too. You've got that I'm standing next to Mr. Chirico look.
Well, we know.
If you know, you know.
The source of that beef.
Oh my goodness! Here we go. Next one. This is the picture. You got to see this. This is awesome. I saw an image on Facebook. There's a fighting game. I'm not sure how new this game is, but check this out. How big would this have been? You take Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and you give it the He-Man IP. I would have played the heck out of this.
I would have too. And, on a related tangent, I went to see Project Hail Mary this week, and they played the He-Man trailer.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm getting pretty excited to see the He-Man trailer on the big screen in a dark theater. I'm excited to go out and see it. I think it's going to be a big, dumb, fun movie.
All these people online with their metal fabricated power swords, like I'm like the most jealous person in the world. I want, like I have... Like, if you don't have a proper key, that is the He-Man power sword, what are you doing? But yeah, a real one would be super awesome. But if you look at this picture, can you tell me what's wrong about this picture? And not the fact that Skeletor wins. That's whatever.
I don't know.
Look at the background. Look at the background characters. Oh, if you can't. So you have Man-at-Arms and Tila on the left hanging out with Triclops.
I see Ram Man.
You got Ram Man and Tila hanging out with Evelyn on the right, and they're not like fighting each other.
Yeah.
So either way, good stuff there. On this day, back in history, 1999, Wayne Gretzky scored his 894th and final goal of his career. Timmy was pretty good at hockey, wasn't he?
Well, they didn't call him the good one,
And you can't say we don't talk about hockey on Soup and Meatballs. And finally, we don't talk about tennis much either, but happy birthday to Jennifer Capriati. That's a name from the past right there.
You were in love with her.
I thought she was a very attractive young lady when we were in Greeby.
Yep.
I think. I saw a great article online about her, what she's up to today. People Online has it. and she's active on the Twitters again. So I checked it out, and apparently she's big into K-pop. So,
is it because she has like kids who are into K-pop?
I didn't go down that far the rabbit hole. She comments on tennis a lot now.
Sure.
But if you read the article on People about what happened to her, like honestly, I think her life and career would make an incredible movie. 14-year-old phenom, born in New York City, all of the problems she had then with drugs, and then the comeback, and she wins a Grand Slam. A really cool story, I think, if somebody wanted to make a movie out of it.
Did she win the gold in Barcelona in '92?
I don't know. That's a great question to ask, Jennifer. Capriati, Barcelona, '92. Yeah, she's the gold winner. Look at that.
Oh, there we go. I thought Capriati. Yeah. She's someone who I think people our age remember more. I think she's kind of been forgotten to tennis fans.
When I saw this day in history, happy birthday, Jennifer Capriati, that was the first time I had thought of that name, probably since 7th grade.
Yeah.
So, there we go.
Great, though. You're right.
All right, here we go. That time of the show, and this is going to be interesting, and it's probably going to be a little time consuming, but I don't really care. What are we doing?
So you remember? You'd had the idea to draft. We were each going to pick, a complement of college basketball teams as like, who we would then pit against each other like tournament style. In
a ChatGPT Elite 8. So where our normal drafts go 5 and 5, we're still going to pick 5 teams, but we're going to pick 4 of them to go into a bracket. So what I need to do, well, first of all,
and I should have asked, is this only teams like in our lifetimes, or is this all time?
You can go with whatever. I chose. I have a mix of a bunch. I'm prepared for anything.
I stayed in my lifetime, but obviously I can go farther back if needed.
All right, let's get this. Oh, this bracket is a big one. That's what she said. Okay. So I have a bracket here that I have ChatGPT already prepped and primed. I just have to give them a team, and we got to figure out who's drafting first. So picture and color, let's learn a little history.
I'm going to make you work for it because my lucky number is 8. I've never gone 8. I'm going to go 8 red.
5, 6, 7, 8. Well, you lost the first pick. It is the 7 of clubs. This is the Lee resolution. This resolution, named for Richard Henry Lee of Virginia, was proposed to Congress. The formal assertion passed by the Second Continental Congress on July 2nd, 1776, establishing the new country of United Colonies, independent of the British Empire, creating what became the United States of America. The formal Declaration of Independence was signed 2 days later. The Lee Resolution. How much did you know about the Lee Resolution here?
Nothing.
I didn't know it either. I'm telling you, man. People watch this show for sports knowledge. They're crazy. You got to learn American history here.
Yeah, so, we're teaching about the founding fathers, people.
Exactly.
It's not all sports and pro wrestling.
So here's what I'm going to do. The way I'm going to seed the bracket, there's no such thing as a 1 seed or an 8 seed or whatever.
Okay.
It's just who I pick and who you pick. And the teams that I put on my list are not all necessarily national champions. Matter of fact, the first team that I want to see, they made 2 national championship games, but they didn't win one. Give me the Fab Five because I want to see how they do. I'm taking the 92-93 Michigan Wolverines.
So the team that lost to Carolina.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I did not take them, but obviously that's my favorite team of all time.
And if they don't win this, then AI is broken.
And look, obviously, we both love the Fab Five. We had the baggy shorts and the black socks.
Still have the baggy shorts and the black socks.
Same. I'm going to go around that era. This is a team that gets brought up a lot with the Fab Five and hypotheticals of who would win. I'm going to go with the 1990 UNLV Running Rebels.
So it's 1990, 91.
No, 1991 lost to Duke. It's
The 89-90
90 team that beat Duke by 30.
Gotcha. UNLV running Rebels. They see. I'm not looking at my list right now. I'm on the Excel sheet. They made the list. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, just Stacey Augman and Anderson Hunt, and Larry Johnson, obviously, just tremendous. Was Greg Anthony there at that time? I believe. Just tremendous talent, and then Tarkanian, running his crooked little schemes and biting his towels.
Nice. Okay, so I'm going to pick the 3rd seed. So I gave UNLV the 2 seed. So the 3 seed, I'm going to pick another team that didn't win the national title, but they broke a lot of people's brackets. They had an undefeated regular season. They won the SEC, but they lost to Wisconsin in the Final Four. Devin Booker, Willie Cauley-Stein, Karl Anthony Towns for the 2015 Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, they were on my list too.
That was just oh my gosh, that they hot knife through buttered a lot of teams, and I like their chances in this bracket. I do.
Yeah, and that's a team that's one of the more stunning losses when they lost to Frank the Tank in Wisconsin.
Frank the Tank, yes.
It's funny. They had Frank the Tank in the booth during the Big Ten tournament during one of the Wisconsin games. It was good to see him. Yeah, that Kentucky team, even more than the Gonzaga team that lost in the championship that was undefeated. When people talk about the teams that had the best chance to be the next undefeated Division I team,
they're 2 wins away from it. So
yeah, that Kentucky team was better than that. What was it, 2021 Gonzaga or whatever it was? So I'm gonna go with another team that didn't win the title, but what was a team that was just outstanding. That's the 98-99 Duke team of Elton Brand and Jay Williams that averaged like 92 points a game and lost to UConn in the final.
Okay, that's a good pick. They didn't make my list, but I mean there was a lot of Duke teams from that era that you could almost pick from that didn't win. It's Duke. You could almost have a Duke tournament.
Yeah, like I believe a young Shane Battier was on that team, like just loaded with. But Elton Brand, Wooden Player of the Year, Jay Williams, future #1 draft pick. Just
Elton Brand was the top pick too, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah.
And I believe Mike Dunleavy Jr. was on that team.
And who did they lose to that year?
UConn, the Richard Hamilton, Khalid El-Amin UConn team.
Oh, okay. Which I had the years on mine wrong because you said that was 98. Oh, it is 98-99. Guess what? The 98-99 UConn team was the next team on my list.
Oh, well,
so
ChatGPT might have them beating me then.
Well, I won't. So you have the 4. I'm going to put my team up against Kentucky in the other bracket. So we'll split the years. So
Okay.
in the bro, we have the 99 UConn against 15 Kentucky. So we'll do that.
Okay.
That's funny. Yeah, because I wanted to get a UConn team in there. They talked about Jim Calhoun last week, so I thought the 99 team might be the best team to go with.
His first title, yeah. So it's my pick again to take a 4th team.
Who do you want to take on the 98-99 Duke Blue Devils?
I would like the 92 Duke Blue Devils to take.
That's amazing.
The Laker Hurley, and we were talking earlier this week. It was the anniversary of the Leitner shot against Kentucky.
Yeah, they were on my list, and I was wondering. I don't know if we're allowed to have 2 Duke teams, but We make the rules. Why not?
There-
And
there's
not only do we have two
rosters.
Duke teams, but we have Duke on Duke crime now.
Yeah.
That team was the 92 team that like you said, beat Michigan in the finals. They were among the best college teams of all time. So I think that's a great pick.
I mean, Leitner for our generation probably has the best college career, of our lifetimes. Just, 4
Yeah.
Final Fours, 2 titles, National Player of the Year, Dream Teamer.
I think you can argue with Leitner, Alcindor, Walton. I don't think you can go wrong.
Yeah.
So my fourth team, I'm going to put up against the Fab Five. I think we need a Cinderella type team in here, but a Cinderella that was 37-2 and lost in the national championship game to North Carolina. Let's go 2017 Gonzaga.
Okay.
And Gonzaga is that Gonzaga team is a Cinderella in name only.
It's funny how for people our age, Gonzaga was like the Cinderella in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
And now they've become one of the Blue Bloods.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No. When we were coming up, you'd never see any Gonzaga games on TV, and it's a funny name, right? It's not USC or Washington in terms of West Coast. It's Gonzaga.
Yeah, and it was around the time of probably Adam Morrison that they became a national brand.
Yeah. Oh boy, was he a mess in the pros?
Yeah. Great in college, though.
Yeah. Speaking of great in college, you have the opponent for UNLV. Who would you like to see play them?
I'm going to take a different Kentucky team than you. I'm going to take the national champion in 2012 that had 7 NBA draft picks, including Anthony Davis going 1 overall.
Believe it or not, that team also made my list.
Yeah, just a great team.
That was the Davis team. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be a good game, I think. We might see, we have Duke against Duke. We might see Kentucky against Kentucky. The other teams that I had written down that I thought would be interesting to see, the last team that went undefeated, the 76 Hoosiers. The Phi Slamma Jamma Houston Cougars that lost in the finals.
Yeah.
They might be neat. The highest scoring college player of all time, 1970 LSU. And I'm surprised that we didn't go with 82 North Carolina.
So some of the ones I had 06-07 Florida, the second of the repeat team with Noah and Al Horford and Corey Brewer. I had the 04-05 Carolina team with Sean May that beat Illinois in the final. I think an interesting one would have been like the Hank Gathers, Bo Kimball, Loyola teams that were putting up 120, 130. Yeah. The Paul Westhead teams. And then Villanova from 2018 with Brunson and DiVincenzo and Bridges that won the first Jay Wright title.
Gotcha. Excellent. All good picks. You know what? I said we were going to pick 5, and then we picked 4, and I just gave you all my honorable mentions. Whatever. Give me the Syracuse team with Carmelo and Jerry McNamara, who's now coaching Syracuse. So that's who I'll draft.
Scranton boy makes good.
Are you ready for game 1?
I am.
Michigan versus Gonzaga. Michigan 78, Gonzaga 74.
Woo.
Weber leads the way with a double-double, 22 and 14. Nigel Williams-Goss, 21 points for Gonzaga. But the athleticism and transition game allow Michigan to advance. So they will take on the winner of the 92 Blue Devils against the 99 Blue Devils. And either way, just don't tell Jalen Rose. Oh, this is very surprising to me. The 99 team wins.
I thought it would be a coin flip. I mean, that 99 team was really deep and, like I said, scored 90-plus points a game.
88-82, the final. The shift came when Elton Brand and Shane Battier started dominating defensively down low. Brand goes for 20. Leitner gets 24 and 9. Bobby Hurley 14 and 9 assists. The 3-point shooting, that was about equal. 50% for the 99 team, 48% for the 92 team. But it was the depth of the 99 team that took over.
Yeah, the 92 team, I mean, they had Leitner, Hill, Hurley. They had Thomas Hill, Brian Davis. I think a young Antonio Lang, if I remember right. And they had Cherokee Parks. Cherokee Parks before he was Cherokee Parks.
They were part of the bench that scored 12 points.
Yeah. So that was my point, is they didn't have as much quality depth as the 99 team. That's fair.
So now we go to the bottom half of the bracket with the 99 Huskies against the 2015 Kentucky Wildcats. And if you had to pick, who do you think pulls this out?
Kentucky.
Kentucky is correct. Kentucky wins 91-84. Karl Anthony Towns goes 25 and 12, and Emeka Okafor and Richard Hamilton both get 23 and 20 for the Huskies. But beyond that, it's another depth issue at Kentucky.
Emeka Okafor on the 99 team?
They have here.
Because he was on the 04 team that won the title, Calhoun's second title.
Well, at the bottom, it says ChatGPT can make mistakes.
I think ChatGPT made a mistake there. Because the center for that 99 team was Jake Voskuhl, if I remember right.
He does have Jake Voskuhl does score 10.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, if UConn had won, I would correct it, saying, "Hey, look."
Even with Emeka Okafor, future number 1 draft pick, the 99 UConn Huskies go down to 15 Kentucky.
This is going to be exciting. The 2012 Kentucky Wildcats against the 90 UNLV Running Rebels.
I think it's UNLV, but let's see.
Well, what would your final score be?
It's going to be high scoring. It's going to be like 98-91 or something like that.
95-87, the Running Rebels take them down. You do a box score check. Larry Johnson goes 28 and 12. Stacey Ogling, Greg Anthony, Anderson Hunt, David Butler all go double digits against Anthony Davis's double-double, 24 and 10. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, 16 points. It was the tempo and the pace that UNLV ran. Larry Johnson was unstoppable. Kentucky's athleticism kept them in striking distance, but too much experience in transition for UNLV.
That might be the most fun matchup of this tournament.
Well, the next one is going to be pretty good. We've got the Fab Five of 93 against the 99 Duke Blue Devils.
That's got to be Duke.
I can run this as many times as I want. It's Duke, though.
Yeah.
Duke wins it. It's a close one, 82-78. And they relied on Weber's inside game and Rose's slashing. A 10-4 Michigan run midway through the half put them ahead 64-62, but Duke answers with smart execution. Brand dunking on mismatches. Who's mismatching with Elton Brand, honestly? Like, Chris Webber is not a mismatch. I'm sorry. Juwan Howard is not that big of a mismatch.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's who was it? Eric Riley? Like when Howard comes out of the game?
Eric Riley. Come on. Oh, geez. So that is our first finalist.
Dugan fight.
Duke will take on the winner of the 2015 Kentucky Wildcats and the Running Rebels of 1990. This is going to be another one.
Whew.
Who do you got?
I think they only have 2 losses between them. Didn't that UNLV team only lose 1 game?
Sure.
And then that Kentucky team only lost to Wisconsin. I go UNLV.
You would go UNLV marginally. What if I told you that Larry Johnson scores 30 points, pulls down 12
LJ.
rebounds. Stacey Ogman, Greg Anthony, Anderson Hunt go 16, 15, and 18.
Wow.
Karl Anthony Towns responds with 28 and 11 of his own. It's UNLV 96 to 88. That is a high-scoring college basketball game.
Wow. LJ, Grandma Ma with a game.
And our finals, the 1990 Runnin' Rebels and the 1999 Blue Devils. Those of us our age remember they had those two schools had really big history.
And this one's going to be another high scoring, I think.
It is. It's 92 to 89. Who do you got?
I think that ChatGPT really likes Duke's depth. I think ChatGPT says Duke won.
ChatGPT does like Duke's depth, but they have UNLV pulling out this win. Larry Johnson, 28 and 11, has to be the MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, of our little brouhaha, but that's an interesting use of some of our fresh water supply.
Only for this title to get vacated when the multitude of scandals come to light.
No, I don't know. But that's good draft. I dig that. That was a good time. It is top 5 time, and this one, if you've been following this online, McDonald's CEO Chris Kempczinski made a video a while back eating or pretending to eat the McDonald's Big Mac or Big Arch or whatever it is, right? And probably what was an honest effort to look relatable to the plebeians, right? CK obviously screwed that up, and because of that, we got all kinds of other CEOs trying to be cool and shooting videos over here, eating their own food. I think mostly just to make fun of it. So
yeah, I don't think it's called food. I do believe they call it product.
Oh gosh, you're probably not wrong.
Yes, this meat-based product is really good. I'm very human.
So since Soup and Meatballs, we're a high-class food show most of the time, we thought it would be a good idea to dig down and look at our top 5 fast food main sandwiches. So like we're not comparing French fries or frosted beverages or whatever.
Okay, because I did have 2 frosted beverages on my list, but I have honorable mentions. Okay,
there we go. I just went with main sandwiches on mine, and I want to point out that I've never been to an In-N-Out burger, and I've never been to a Big Kahuna burger.
Big Kahuna, they make a tasty burger.
They do, from what I hear, but I'm only going with things that I've consumed personally.
In-N-Out burger's not bad. It's it's fine.
So you can go first. Whatever order you have, I actually have an order here.
I'm gonna go. I'd never eaten at a Wendy's until you started working at one.
Okay.
But the Baconator is legit.
The bacon at Wendy's is, or at least was back in the day, actual bacon that we had to fry on the grill. I don't believe it is anymore. I think it's like it comes pre-cooked and frozen or whatever. It's probably brutal. But the big bacon back in the day, I think you would have liked, which is the same. It's the same thing rebranded. So Baconators, that's good. We'll hear from Wendy's in a little bit.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Well, I guess you can go wrong. You can get food poisoning, but usually you can't go wrong with just some sort of like beef patty, cheese, bun, bacon. That's a winning formula.
It truly is. I'm going to give you my number 5. We're going to go 5-1.
Okay.
And it's something I don't get very often because the line is ridiculous. Their takeout, they've actually mastered the 2 takeout line thing here in Chambersburg. I'm just going to take the regular chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. The adding of pickle to chicken was an interesting turn for me. But the chicken itself is always really good. But I mean, it's also really expensive. And again, I'm not waiting in that line. So if I can get one at the high school, like they're like partnered with the high school. If I can get one at like the football games, and the line isn't bad, they're pretty good. They're okay.
For the longest time, I wasn't big on eating pickles, Pickles have grown on me, and yeah,
I like me some pickles.
Pickles with chicken, like that brininess, kind of like soaks in. Yeah, that's a good call.
As a runner, believe it, like when I would over the summer when I go for like if I go for like a hardcore 4 or 5 mile walk, the best rehydrator is actually pickle juice.
Yeah, well, Deuce Staley taught us that. He ran for 200 yards in the season opener against the Cowboys. Eagles fans know it as the pickle juice game because he was drinking pickle juice on the sideline to rehydrate.
Our good friend and friend of the show, Big Jim Rigotti, was famous for mixing pickle juice with some adult spirits, and it was good too.
I've never tried that.
Well, there you go, something to try for our viewers. I don't know if it was rum or vodka that he put it with.
Oh, rum and pickle juice.
I'm guessing it was vodka. It was a clear spirit. I'll have to ask Dan if he remembers. I'll text Dan and
I'm very curious. Very curious.
I'll just get if he gets back to us during the show. Let's see here. Hey man, Dash, really quick question for you, period. Back in the day when Jimmy used to make the shots with pickle juice, what adult spirit did he use with it? Question mark. And we'll see.
All right.
So the question's been asked. So all based on a Chick-fil-A sandwich, my number 5.
I'm gonna go with the classic for my number 2 because it's more of like a memory for me. I'm gonna go with the classic Whopper. Because I still am. I don't eat a lot of fast food these days, but I love Burger King. And it's because I grew up by a Burger King in Jersey.
Tell the story, because now you know you want to.
They sponsored the Partroy Little League, and in the spring/summer of 1988, look, did I hit 13 home runs to lead the league in home runs? I did. Did the local Burger King give you a coupon for a free Whopper every time you hit a home run? Of course they did. Did I feed my family like the provider I am the entire summer? Yes, I did. 8 years old.
I love that. That if we had to give our top 5 lists of favorite stories of the other person, I think that's my number 1.
Former home run champion / Whopper consumer Tim Hare.
I fed my family like the provider I am. That is amazing. And we'll hear from Burger King in a little bit. My number 4.
I know that smoky flavor, like the flame broil, like it's some chemical they spray on the beef, I guess.
Well, it is actually flame broiled, and I know this because when I was at IUP, I worked at Folger Food Court with another wonderful human being named Jennifer. But they had a Burger King there, and the utility person at night had to clean the broiler. This thing was 1,000,000 degrees, and they gave you these mitts, these gloves, these oven mitts that went up to your shoulder. They were the sweatiest and grossest thing I've ever seen, smelled, or worn. And I played high school football with Scott Wetterow. These things were funky. But you needed them because, like, this broiler, once it touched water, like, the earth stopped spinning for a half a second. That's how they got their smoky flavor. An actual broiler. It was like a saw trap.
And exploiting that worker and making them wear that glove was all worth it because the burgers taste delicious.
Dan Rigotti, by the way, says hello. He thinks it was just vodka.
That makes more sense. Yeah, like the sweetness of rum with pickle juice turns my stomach.
Yeah, Tim and I are discussing fast food. If you're free, I don't know. If you're... Oh, shoot. Now, yeah, give me a second here, because you think it's easy. It's not. There we go. Boom shakalaka. We might have a guest. Who knows? While we wait, my number 4... I don't get this a lot because this just saying the words are going to increase my cholesterol 6 trillion%.
Yeah.
But it's good and it's super expensive and the French fries are really good there as well. I went with the double cheeseburger from Five Guys.
I've never been to a Five Guys.
So I've been there 3 times in my life. The last one I remember, the people in board gaming will remember the name Don Greenwood. Will know the name Don Greenwood. He's still with us. Don Greenwood was the head of the Board Gaming Players Association for a while, and when I started helping them try to update their website, I went over and had a meeting with him, and I found all his stats and records and stuff, and we went to a Five Guys for lunch, and that was like 15. It was a long time ago. Super greasy, super but they're really good. So if you want to experience gastric distress at your age,
I love
feel free.
distress.
But I would not recommend it to you now. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, yeah. Not now, no.
I don't even know where the closest Five Guys location would be to me.
That's down the road for me.
Where do I want to go next with this? I'm going to go. You said Chick-fil-A. I'm going to go with a Popeyes spicy chicken sandwich.
I've never had Popeyes.
I love Popeyes.
There's been a Popeyes here in Chambersburg for as long as I'm dating / married to Jen. And we're closing in on 21 years married, so I've known her 26. Never eaten a Popeyes.
Oh, you need to change that. I'll watch Wicked if you eat Popeyes.
It's got to be easier for me, sure.
Yours won't take you 3 hours.
But mine won't be as good. We won't be able to talk about it for as long, although here we are.
True.
What kind of Popeyes? Do they put pickles on their chicken too, or is that just a Chick-fil-A thing?
I don't know that I had pickles on my Popeyes sandwich. And I'll tell you, because is it spicy? Is that what you said? The spicy chicken? Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it needs it. Yeah, and because I grew up, not far from a KFC when I was in Hazleton, because we were just down the road. Popeyes, 10 times out of 10 over KFC.
Gotcha. I'll do a spoiler here. KFC's herbs and spices were my honorable mention. The chicken itself was fine, but the skin and oh
yeah. If there was like an offshoot restaurant of Kentucky Fried Chicken called Just Skin.
The skin. We'll wrap a French fry with the skin.
Yes. Can I just get a bucket of skin, please? Can I get the Dahmer special?
Those words just came out of your mouth. Wow. But absolutely. And remember when they tried the crispy? Like, did anybody really eat KFC crispy? Ugh. Trash. All right. My number 3 is going to probably gross out anybody that worked there, including Jerry Donati. I liked Arby's roast beef a lot, but Jerry would tell me how it was made and the gelatinous goo that they put in the oven before it hardened into what we think is roast beef. But it's fast food roast beef. What are you looking for? I liked Arby's roast beef, and you throw on some of their barbecue sauce, their Arby's sauce. Yeah, it was good stuff.
Do you mean the horsey sauce?
No. The Arby's sauce. The horsey sauce, I think, was horseradish. I didn't like that.
I don't.
Not going horseradish.
I don't hate Arby's, but it did not make the list. But Arby's is okay.
I mean, my fast food options are limited because I don't eat a lot of it. So,
yeah,
Arby's was my 3.
I'll tell you, and I'm also limited because I don't eat a ton of it either. So I don't even know if this qualifies. But what's that?
Who came up with this idea? Damn you, Chris Kempchinski.
I blame the McDonald's CEO.
He just made the list.
Put him on
the other list.
We're going to eat a bucket of his skin. So this isn't technically a sandwich, but it is a fast food item.
We'll go with it.
That's not like a dessert type food. But the Doritos taco from Taco Bell?
No. This is I'm calling this a fast food main. Yeah, okay. So a taco at Taco Bell, that's a main. Yeah. And the Dorito shell, yeah.
I could eat 20 of those. I couldn't. It would kill my stomach. But theoretically, I could eat 20 of them.
You know who loves Taco Bell?
Me.
Jen.
Really?
She loves Taco Bell.
And it's funny
And
because I
I
know
don't-
she describes herself as like a picky eater.
Well, she picks Taco Bell.
I do. I'm 100% in support of this because I love Taco Bell.
When I do go, she gets 3 soft shell tacos, and I'll get the Doritos taco just like you said. It only comes in nacho cheese though. I would love the Cool Ranch Dorito taco. Don't shake your head at me. You know I'm right.
You're wrong.
Oh no.
Cool Ranch is trash.
No.
It's
Oh,
trash.
you're gonna make the list.
Cool Ranch just made my list,
Oh no.
and not the top 5 list.
So my number 2, we talked about a little bit. This was for the longest time my go-to cheeseburger. I went with a double with cheese from Wendy's because I was a fat slob who a single cheeseburger wasn't going to do it for me. The cool part about Wendy's burgers were the shape. They were squares, or they are squares.
Yeah.
So somebody growing up on a circle cheeseburger, both from the other places, and your dad would make a cheeseburger, he wasn't making it a square. That was it was gimmicky back in the day. So
and also just like visually, like it made you feel like you were getting more burger because it was spilling out.
You weren't. Spoiler alert.
Right.
As someone who made enough of them, the 4-corner press pushed down on them, and you know what? If you're bored, and I know you never worked there, so it's not going to hit you the same. But get on the YouTube and look up old Wendy's training videos. They are ridiculous.
I saw one the other day where someone was rapping.
Yes, that might have been the grill video.
Yeah, it was like a 1990s. It's like when rap became mainstream enough that like you saw it in like "Don't Do Drugs" PSAs.
Yeah. So Pete Nensteel, his wife Chris was a great friend of mine in high school, and I met her at Wendy's. I would send her these Wendy's training videos that when they'd come up on YouTube, and the faces she's just grown. Oh God, I remember those. The pop single white, red, and green for how they made the sandwich. It's just. They also had a training video on how to pour a soda. Like, did you really need a 5-minute song on?
Self-evident.
I guess so. My number 2 is the double from Wendy's.
Can we play one? Can we play one of these bangers?
I can try. I can't.
Are we legally allowed to?
I don't know.
If it's on the YouTube?
Wendy's training video.
Particularly the one where the guy raps at the grill.
Oh, you want grill skills?
Yeah.
Let's.
Please tell me it's grill skills and skills has a Z at the end.
Grill skills. Grill skills. You need the one.
So,
And here's why. The patty tastes better because the salt is pressed into the meat and makes the meat.
Oh, yeah.
Now working the grill, Bill, it ain't so tough. But first of all, you got to check your stuff. Like a grill that's set at 250 with the meat and cheese that's ready to go. A towel to keep your station looking cool. But most of all, you got to have your tool. Are you with me now? Get ready. We're gonna lay them down. Now beats got grain to it just like wood. You got to follow the arrow to lay it down like you should. From the front to the back, you got to lay it down. Space it evenly, not scattered around. Next, you got to salt the meat from the back to the front to make the taste complete. Not too little, not too much. With a little finesse, you'll get the touch.
Too much salt.
What's coming up next is our key to success. We'll turn the meat and do a 4-corner press. Don't wait too long, I emphasize, so the meat won't reach the proper side. When things start to sizzle, you're ready to go. Gently turn the meat, but don't be slow. Just turn them over easily. We don't want a broken patty, that's a guarantee. Press out the corners, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rock it a bit, are you keeping score? Top and bottom, left and right, and you'll get a patty that's out of sight. Press out the corners, nice and wide, at least half an inch on.
We are most definitely not going 15 minutes.
So two things. First of all, that song, absolute panty dropper. Second of all, The only thing missing was if he had like a clock around his neck, like Flavor Flav, but instead it was shaped just like a big square patty.
Oh, I was thinking like the spatula.
Either works.
Yeah, good. Memories.
Now you're ready to go. That's what we need. We need a rap theme song to Soup and Meatballs.
Want one? You got it. Next week, it's coming at you.
All right.
It's coming at you. Forget about it.
How many?
What's your number one or your last one?
My last one. So everything else on my list was ice cream based. So
Okay, we'll give you ice cream. That's fine.
I'll save those for my honorable mentions.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with one that it makes an appearance, then it disappears, then everyone gets it comes back, then it
Not the
disappears.
McRib.
It's the McRib.
Oh, not
And
the
here's
McRib.
the thing: I've seen the videos of how it's made. There's nothing that's a rib or pork or barbecue sauce. Like I don't know what the ingredients are,
Sludge.
but it tastes good.
I've never had one.
It tastes good.
I can't comment because I truly have not had one. Maybe they are good.
Yeah, it's at number 5 for a reason, and it was in my honorable mentions for a reason instead of my ice cream based choices.
What's the ice cream based one? It's got to be a Frosty.
Frosty's on there.
Yeah,
The
gotta be.
The DQ Blizzard.
Yeah. Okay. I have a DQ story for you. Long time ago, we go to DQ. We're getting takeout, and when we get takeout on a Sunday, we're not getting it for me and Jen. It's me, Jen, Derek, Maria, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, my sister. Like we're getting like 15 people's worth, but only one person goes and they get the whole order. One time we went and I got a chicken sandwich, or chicken sandwich combo. So we get back to my in-laws' house. I open up the box. I take out the chicken, and I look. It's got a bun. It's got mayonnaise. It's got lettuce. No chicken. Awful. But I got a Blizzard, so I ate the Blizzard. So ice cream at DQ, good. Chicken, you might get it, you might not.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had actual food at a Dairy Queen.
It's fine. It's burgers and chicken. It's fast food stuff. Right. So, but the flurry or the Blizzard, good call.
And then also another seasonal favorite, the Shamrock Shake.
Oh, so we have the bacon Shamrock Shakes.
Yes.
And if you know, you know.
Sure.
My number one, we talked about Burger King. The double Whopper with cheese is my favorite burger. Now there's two ways to have it. There's while you're driving and while you're sitting. If you're driving, it's got to be plain, because if you're sitting and you get it with all the accoutrement on it, that is some of the slipperiest stuff ever, and it will get on your shirt if you're driving. I guarantee you.
There was no one more talented at eating the messiest burgers while driving than my father.
What?
who even with both hands free was maybe the worst driver I've ever ridden in a car with.
Where was he taking us? Was he taking us to a movie? Was on Church Street. He just decided he wasn't going to stop at that red light.
Yeah, he didn't stop at red lights. I can't tell you how many times. Like one-way signs were just suggestions.
And you yelled at him, and he's like, "But you want to get to the movie on time."
Yeah, your movie starts in 10 minutes, Timmy.
Oh, you know what?
It starts in 0 minutes if I'm dead.
I believe you got us to the movie on time. So
yeah, lucky for us, we got to see whatever we were going to see.
And the movie was probably
Ninja Turtles or whatever.
It was probably terrible. But that's a look at the Soup and Meatballs' favorite fast food stuff. Have you ever had a strawberry Frosty?
I've had like a strawberry milkshake, but never.
Frosty. Have you had the vanilla Frosty? We'll start there.
Yes.
And that was okay. Derek loves those. The strawberry Frosty was bad, and I love strawberry as a flavor, like ice cream, sherbet, Jello, Jolly Rancher. Frosty was bad.
Where do you stand on dipping fries into the Frosty?
I'll do it. I mean, I honestly, 90% of my fast food eating is in the car while moving. so that kind of stuff doesn't go. But it's okay. It's fine. You?
I think I'm more into it just based on how you're talking. I think I'm more into it than you are because I think it's
Probably.
like
but I won't yuck on your
salty.
yum.
It's almost like a chocolate covered pretzel but potato based.
I got you. Good stuff, man. It's that time, Mr. Smarty Pants. And I'll tell you what, the list I think you're going to be good at. The question, if you get the question, you're getting a T-shirt. So earlier in the show, we talked about the IUP women's basketball team, and in the AI sim that I ran, Beth McDonald was our MVP. Beth graduated in 2001. She's my friend from dance class, and she came to my wedding, and I danced with her there. She ranked in the top 10 all-time scoring at IUP. Jazinga Tracy, and that's her name, Jazinga, has been the leader in that list for a while now, 2,101 points. She would not have that top spot at Bloomsburg, though. That spot belongs to someone with 2,173 points. The person graduated in 1989, so well before you got there. But do you know your Bloom history, Tim? Who is the all-time leading scorer in Bloomsburg women's basketball history? Bloomsburg 89. I'm sure she has her name on a banner somewhere.
Is it Teresa Lorenzi?
It's Teresa Lorenzi. You're getting a T-shirt. That's it.
Smarty Pants.
That is amazing. How about the men? Do you know the leader for the men? 2018, if that helps you.
Yeah. Is it Christian Mortalite?
That's
and he surpassed Mike Elzy, I believe.
I don't have the list there. I just have the number one. Do you know who ranks number 6 for the women?
Is it former Hazelton area athletic trainer Megan Labuda?
Megan Labuda. That's the only name on that list I knew. Like, wow, Labuda's on the list. That's cool.
Yeah, she was in school at BU the same time I was.
Yeah, that's incredible. Good deal. List wise, I thought that was going to be hard. You're going to run through this. Earlier, LeBron James recently took over the number 1 overall spot on the NBA games played list. So, can you name the overall top 10 if I spot you number 1?
Yeah, he passed Robert Parrish.
Robert Parrish is number 2.
How about Vince Carter?
Vince Carter is number 4.
How about Kareem?
Number 3.
Okay. Trying to think of some other old folks. How about Chris Paul?
Not on the list.
How about Al Horford?
Ooh, not on the list. Chris Paul would be 16th. Al Horford. I don't even see Al Horford.
Because he's pushing 40.
Played a lot, I guess. Horford. Oh, he's 64. He's 64th if you include the ABA, 60th if you don't.
Okay.
I'm prepared for either eventuality with you.
Boy, I'm trying to think of other people who hung around a long time.
These people did, in fact, hang around a long time.
How about Kobe?
Kobe is 17th.
Okay.
Right behind Chris Paul.
How about Moses Malone?
Moses Malone is 9th if you include the ABA, which we will.
Okay.
Without the ABA, he's 19th.
Okay.
For fairness' sake.
Boy, who are some other people who just hung around a long time? Shaq?
Shaq is 54th. 50th if you're just counting NBA.
So who do I have? LeBron, Parrish, Kareem, Vince Carter, Moses.
And Moses is 9th, so you're missing 5, 6, 7, 8 in either in NBA I'll give you like Moses Malone is the only name from the ABA.
Okay.
These other guys we have definitely seen play, some fairly recently.
Boy, other old people. People who've retired. Like someone who retired recently?
I mean, recently is relative. I mean, not. I mean, the next guy on the list retired in 2019. So as hard as I want to say, like anything pre-COVID is still recently, but it's like it's been 7 years.
How about Duncan?
Tim Duncan is going to require me to control F. He is not on the list.
Okay.
He's 11th. So I guess I don't have to. I'm scrolling down like in the 20s. No, Tim Duncan is just outside the top 10.
Okay. What about Kevin Garnett?
Kevin Garnett is 8.
Yeah, because I'm either trying to think of guys who started without going to college. All right, so I have 8. So I still need 10, 5, 6, and 7.
5, 6, 7, and 10. And you can get the 10th if you don't count Moses Malone if you're really interested.
How about I mean Steph's he's like 37 or so. How about Steph?
Curry is I'm sure he's here somewhere. He's behind Del Curry. Steph Curry is 113th.
Oh my God.
Del Curry is 100th. So don't pick him.
Yeah. Boy, I might need some clues for the other 4.
Okay, so the number 5 was the guy who graduated. He retired in 2019. To my knowledge, he did not go to college in the United States.
Dirk?
Dirk, yeah, he might have gotten to college in Germany, but Dirk is number 5. The next 2, I mean, if I say it this way, that's a guarantee. The next 2 are teammates.
Jordan and Pippen?
Not Jordan Pippen. Another really good tandem, though, around that era.
Oh, Stockton and Malone.
Stockton is 6, Malone is 7. It really surprised me because Malone hung on like in the LA years. I thought Malone would have been higher.
He was injured a lot in the LA years, though.
Fair. The next guy, so the number 9 guy, if you just look at NBA, he played for a bunch of teams, but he had cups of coffee near the end. The bulk of his career was played in the Eastern Conference on a team that habitually did not do well in the playoffs. But this guy was a big rebounder.
Oh, Rodman?
Not Rodman.
Oh,
I'm not sure this guy won an NBA title in 2003, but
Kevin Willis?
Kevin Willis, yeah. Big Smoothie. They have the dumbest nicknames on Basketball Reference. They called him T-Rex, Motown, Fresh, and Big Smoothie.
Big Smoothie. Never heard that.
So Kevin, yeah, that should be the other part of the list. And the last guy would have retired in 2018, played a 19-year career. And I really thought he was with Dallas most of the time, but he bounced a bunch of other places too. Atlanta, Houston, Milwaukee. He was a Celtic for a second.
Atlanta, Houston, Milwaukee.
Sixth man of the year, 08-09.
I don't know if I know it.
Or number 4 for the Celtics in 2013. NBA champion 2011.
2000. Antoine Walker?
Jason Terry.
Jason. Oh, my God.
There you go.
I would have never gotten Jason Terry. Of Arizona, Jason Terry.
Amazing. How about that? It gets back to March Madness, which starts up here in a couple hours. A fine showing, though. I mean, let me tell you something. The Teresa Lorenzi and Christian Mortellite, that was – I really thought I had you. Like, you asked me, like, names at IUP. I remember Rodney Horton, and I can name some of the women on the 99 basketball team, but –
I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm excited for this T-shirt.
I have to order it. So, and
I do have trivia for you.
Oh, geez, here we go. Let's get the right slate up here.
So I think the trivia. I think there's a good chance you'll get.
I hope.
Who is the last player to win a national title and then go number one in the draft that same year, that June? So wins a title in April, then 2 months later goes number one in that year's draft.
Was it Elton Brand?
It was not Elton Brand. That's a good guess.
Yeah, my relative lack of recent NBA top picks is going to hurt. Yeah, I mean, geez. Is it within the last 10 years?
No, but not far off.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be – oh, boy. I have a hard time thinking of, like, overall top picks like that weren't Michael Olowokandi and – oh, boy.
The pride of Pacific, Michael Olowokandi.
Oh, like you can't – I can't be right. No, you didn't win a title.
No, it's not right.
I give up because I can sit here and contemplate it. It ain't coming to me.
It is Anthony Davis in 2012.
Oh, yeah. How about that?
I have another one that is listed.
I was thinking I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah. You have another one? Oh, boy.
I do.
Okay.
Would you care to guess what 5 programs have the most wins in Division I men's college basketball in the 2020s?
In the 2020s?
Yes.
Gonzaga?
Gonzaga is second with 174.
UConn?
Surprisingly, no.
How about Duke?
Duke is third with 168.
It's a bad guess, but I think it's right. Baylor?
That's a great guess, but no, it's not Baylor.
No, the last couple of years they've been bad, and so with that same area of the country, Houston.
Houston is number 1 with 190.
Michigan State's always tough. Michigan State?
It's not Michigan State. I'll tell you the last 2 are tied with 163 wins apiece.
Oh, that helps. How about a weird random team in the SEC like Florida?
Reigning champion, but no, it's not Florida.
Went Duke. How about North Carolina?
Not Carolina. And we haven't even talked about how they fired Hubert Davis and are now looking for a coach.
Looking for a coach. Is it a blue blood program, or is it like somebody like IUPUI that like who?
One of them is a blue blood program. One of them, you could argue, is blue blood-ish and has played for a national title within the last 10 years.
Butler?
Not Butler.
Not Butler. Oh. How about Villanova?
That's another great guess, but it's not Nova.
I'm thinking like schools like Iowa State that are going to win like 28 games, but like not be like they win a lot. Like how Iowa State.
It's
Big
not
Eight
Iowa.
school.
It's not them Cyclones.
Uh, and they played for this non-blue blood played for a national title.
They're a very good program from a major conference. Their fans would argue they're maybe a blue blood. I don't think they are. But they've played for a national title in the last 10 years. They've had a number 1 overall pick in the draft in our lifetime.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. Well, give them to me. Oh, give me the conference of the blue blood.
Historically, they were Pac-10. I'm trying to think if they still... Yeah, they're still Pac-10. Not UCLA.
And I think college basketball in the Pac-10, they're the first team I think of. Some weird school like Oregon State.
No, it's a team that's still playing.
Oh, Arizona.
Arizona.
Okay. Who's the other one that I'm not going to get?
It's Purdue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they played for the title with Zach Edey.
They did Zach Edey's tops. Yeah, that's...
Well, Glenn Robinson was the top overall pick that I was...
Oh, okay. I was thinking within the last 10 years.
No, they played for a title in the last 10 years for Matt Painter, and then Glenn Robinson was the top pick in the 94 draft. Gotcha.
I got some of them. I still can't tell you who the all-time leading scorer in men's IUP history is, but...
And I'll tell you, I was surprised because I found a list that was program wins by decade. The most wins of the 2010s was Georgetown.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Most wins of the 2000s was Duke, 90s was Kentucky, 80s was UNLV, and 70s and 60s was UCLA.
That's cool. Good deal, man.
Yeah.
All right. I've got through a whole show without any hydration, so it's not p o'clock for me. I do want to say a very special happy birthday to a good friend of mine, Matt Miller, who is probably 29 again. I don't know if he counts, but Matt Miller is a really good buddy of mine. I play board games with, easily the best board game player at our table whenever we're playing. Good guy. So happy birthday, Matt. I don't have a cool poem that, I saw his birthday was today right before we went live, so I couldn't get ChatGPT to write him a song.
Can you get ChatGPT to come up with a corporate training-based freestyle rap for his birthday?
I'm not right now. I will get a soup and meatballs rap for next week. I tell you, it is a secondary step. I'm a lunatic who celebrates this thing called Gen Day every year. It's just like an excuse to get Jen a present that's on a Mother's Day or a birthday, and the day changes every year, so it's like a surprise. I wrote her a song called Happy Gen Day, and there was an AI program that sang it for me. And it was in the style of 80s power ballad. Oh, it's phenomenal stuff. I made a music video with like some of our old pictures and videos. Oh, it was good.
See, this is why you're married and I'm not.
I know how to. Yeah. That she liked it, so that works. So I will have a 80s freestyle rap about soup and meatballs. I have to feed AI some of the stuff we talk about. So
well, the next time you celebrate Gen Day, I'll DoorDash some Taco Bell to your house.
There you go. It's usually in March because her birthday's in September and Mother's Day's in May and Christmas is in December. So it works out.
I remember her birthday well because we're birthday buddies.
Duh. She's a day after you.
Yes. And a few years separate us. I'm a little older. I think. Yeah, I'm a little older.
I'm just trying to guess, because you would have been 79,
I'm 79.
And she was 92 or 93.
She's turning 23 this year? 24?
36 or so. I don't know. 37.
Wait, then how old was she when you married her?
She's 37. Hey, you, get back here.
This conversation became problematic and possibly.
Yeah, it did. She's been 29 for a couple of years now. So, and she's excited. Her cousin, my cousin-in-law Rachel, shout out Rachel, is getting married this summer, and
Oh.
Jen has to be she's a bride's matron or whatever you call the married folk.
Yeah.
And she gets to get new shoes, so Jen's excited about new shoes.
Well, that's fun.
I guess I haven't gotten new shoes in years.
I just got new like workout shoes. Blue.
We've come to the point of the show now. We're just kind of rambling about random stuff. So
Yeah, as old men tend to do. And I have been hydrating, so it's p o'clock here.
well, it's about that time. I'm gonna hit the stop button, folks. It was good to have you along with us. Check us out next week or the week after, and we'll